There are studies showing that in pedophilia there are a number of neurobiological differences between pedophiles. The idea is that already when the fetus is in the womb, that there are certain hormonal processes that predispose a person to develop pedophilic sexual interests.
I think the main cause is, as for sexual orientation in general, the interaction between sex hormones and developing brain, which is determined both by genetic factors and environmental factors.
On the other hand, there is the view that pedophilia is also related to early childhood experiences of being physically abused and or sexually abused. And the idea is that if you are abused as a child, you learn that that is a normal way of interacting with adults. So that's like an imprint in your mind. You think that's normal. So that's why that person who has those experiences may develop sexual preferences for children himself or herself and act on those.
All researchers agree that true pedophilia is not a conscious choice, just like being homosexual or heterosexual. The main difference of true pedophilia, also known as exclusive pedophilia, starts off with problems in sexual development. Unlike most people who have a normal sexual development into adulthood, a pedophile's sexual development is blocked. For example, when they are 13, they prefer 13-year-old children, but when they are 20, they still prefer 13-year-old children. And even when they are older, they will continue to prefer 13-year-old children.
There is no cure for pedophilia. You can't change the deviant sexual preference. What you can do is two things. One, you can intervene at the level of the sex drive. So there are pharmacological agents that really decrease the libido of the person. So that means you stop their sexual activity completely, also called chemical castration. That's one option, but this type of treatment has many harmful side effects. You can think about osteoporosis, serious osteoporosis, depression, feminization. So in the long term, this type of treatment is not an option. The second possibility is psychological treatment. That means you work on the psychological problems that actually make the person act out their pedophilic interests. So you can think about maybe the person has the idea that it's okay to have sex with children, that children are not harmed by it, that they actually may benefit from it, that it's a kind of sex education. Well, these types of cognitive distortions need to be diminished, need to be reduced in treatment. Also, a lot of pedophiles lack empathy, lack insight into what their behavior does to the children. So I'm talking here, of course, about pedophiles who act on their sexual preference. These types of treatments are necessary and are generally quite effective in reducing the risk of a pedophile, again, abusing children.